Hi, everyone. Welcome to another week of innovation meditation. Today, we're going to talk about how to meditate and achieve our goals. Um, I'm going to share my screen again. I have a couple of stories to share. Oops, where is it? Here we go. I have a couple of stories to share about my own personal life, and hope that you'll find that interesting. Oops, I was not on the right. There we go. Hope you can see the slides. So we want to do that, meditate. How meditation can help us also break habits. We all have unfavorable habits. I do. First, I want to say that I am also learning like all of you. I'm not there yet. This is a journey that we will never together reach a destination at because we can only get better. So I don't want you to think that all that I'm saying that I'm perfect. I'm far from it. The one thing that we have to remember is we have the 10 ATBs, the ATB story, and the all in. All of this points to us becoming more aware of others and and feeling empathy and compassion towards them. So these practices then help us see that one at the core of each one of us, which is our spirit. At the core, we are all the same. It is the body and the mind that makes us look different. So if we can figure out that our true self is the spirit, that's who we are, and that's a journey for me, and I make mistakes, I have bad habits that I'm trying to break through these exercises that I personally practice myself. So let me tell you a story. When I turned 50, that's now 11 years ago, I was very depressed. My family was happy. They took me on a surprise trip with helicopter ride, the whole works. I was not happy. Again, I became depressed because I thought I've lived 50 years, half a century. What difference have I made in this world? And I couldn't figure out why I'm here on this earth. That was eating at me every single day. And finally, one day, you see, I wasn't happy eating, sleeping, going to work, working sometimes 6 to 7 days a week because we didn't have 85-10-5 rule those days. Then, coming back and going on vacation, earning all the money, and then exotic vacations and all of this, like looking after family. It was just not, I wasn't happy. So I needed to find what would make me happy. I needed a bigger purpose in life. So my guru came to my rescue, and in meditation, he told me, I have to help others be self-reliant. And I was wondering what that meant. And pondering over it over and over, I realized that I can teach people what I practice. I have practiced for decades myself because I am self-reliant. I don't go to the doctors for every little thing. Even when I have a fall, I don't have to go. I know how to fix myself. I don't know how to fix myself. I know how to meditate to make sure that the universal consciousness can fix the body, right? Because it's the body that needs to be fixed. So what I wanted to tell you is I made the intent to have a purpose in life, and my purpose was to help one person at a time change the world, to make anyone who's interested self-reliant. Then I turned to how am I going to do that? I thought I'd like to go teach the kids because the kids are the future of the world, and they're so stressed right nowadays. The younger they are, the stress is coming to them younger than we were when we were kids. Even my daughter, she was not stressed in the elementary school. The elementary kids have headaches, which wasn't common those days. So I approached the schools and said, I'd like to teach meditation to the kids free of charge. But then I got to figure out, I had to implement, how am I going to do this? I work 5 days a week. The kids are at school during the week. How am I going to do this? So I went to Michelle Beck, my then manager, and I said to her, can we figure out my role so I can work only 4 days a week, but this is what I want to do to make me happy. And she was so kind. She reconfigured my then role so I could work 4 days a week. What did that mean? It meant that I had to make some choices and compromises. So 80% is what my wage would be. I would have to say no to lucrative. I did have to say no to lucrative and exciting promotions. One part of me would have enjoyed that, but then I had to make the choice. What do I want, right? And then everything fell into place, and I was so grateful. I am still so grateful that I am able to go and do my wellness education to whoever wants it free of charge. For the past 8-9 years, I haven't charged fees. I give my services to anyone who wants it without charging fees, because I feel that ATB has supports me, not the past, the present tense, supports me and pays me enough to be able to do it without having to charge any fees. You see, I know why was I yearning for this purpose, because any selfless act nourishes the soul. That is our spirit within. And this is what I was craving for. So when we talk about purpose, when you think about purpose, what for your purpose, your life's purpose, what difference do you seek to make in this world by your presence in it? That was what I was asking myself. And that's what I'm going to put out to you. It's up to you. It may be at this stage in your life, or it may be 10 years from now. That's up to you to figure out, right? So, but then if for any goals to be achieved, you need the 3 I's of intention, imagination, and implementation. So that's kind of what I very briefly shared from how I found the purpose in my life. Now, let's talk about changing habits, because I feel that habit changing is very closely related to purpose or goals, any goals. So this is a picture of a glass brain. You've heard of the term neurons that fire together, wire together, and that is true. It's been proven by science and studies. And this is what this person is doing. They are mapping in the brain how these neurons are firing based on what she's thinking and what she's doing. So changing habits is not easy. We know that, you know that, I know that. I've been trying to break eating sweets. I am really bad at eating chocolates and sweets. And I've been working on this for years and years and years, and I made tiny progress, maybe very little. So habit is Mark Twain's quote: habit is habit, not to be flung out of window by any man, but coaxed downstairs a step at a time, he said. And that is so true. And you may recall a few weeks ago, I spoke about 3 P's of patience, perseverance, and practice. So patience is so needed. We may go a little bit over today, because I want to talk to you a little bit about the alpha state of our mind, of the brain. I'm going to, through this meditation exercise we're going to do, I'm going to take you to the alpha state of our mind, where the creativity can be mined, and also any suggestions you make to the mind goes into the subliminal mind brain, whatever it is, so you can make a suggestion of a habit change. That's what I'm going to go through. I was going to actually also, before we go to affirmations are a very key part of any habit change. So before I go to the actual meditation, very quickly, I want to tell you a story about old story about Jack and his castle. Jack lived far away in the middle of a forest, on one side of the forest, where he was at the outskirts of a village. And one day he went up on his rooftop, and he was looking out at the beautiful, very thick, dense forest. It is said to have wild animals and scary creatures, so nobody goes near it. Beautiful forest, though. And he's looking at the vastness of the forest, and far away on the other side, he sees. I'm going to stop sharing as I am telling the story because we're going to go into the meditation. Where am I? Oh, here we go. So, right. And he looks at this beautiful castle, and he says, wow, I would like to go there. And I'd like to see what goes on. And he sees lights go on, and he can hear laughter and music and so on. And then this is his pastime. For the next many months, he sits up on the rooftop and watches this beautiful sight, and he wants to be there. And he's having this desire grow and grow and grow in his heart. And he is now wanting to do something about it. So he's setting the intention. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be part of this fun that's happening over there. So then he starts to imagine what it would be like if he was in there. So all of these things are forming a pathway, neural pathway in his brain, and the imagination of it. So one day, with all enthusiasm, determination, and strength, he goes and he starts to implement his plan. He goes and sharpens his hatchet and goes to the edge of the forest to find a place where he can just begin to hack at the tree, finds a nice place that he thought was manageable for him, and starts to hack at the trees. And he does that all day long. And he goes back at night, comes back the next day, and continues to work. He will go up on the roof to make sure that his direction is pointing towards the castle as he is breaking down and hacking down all of these trees. So, and he does this for quite a number of months. And what does he do? Finally, one day, he's on the other side. And at that time, the prince of the castle is going for a ride on his horseback. And he sees this person coming out of this very scary and dark forest. And he was amazed. He said, no one had ever done that before. So how could this person? So he invites Jack to the castle and feeds him, wines and dines, and have fun and frolic and music. And Jack was very happy. He goes back, and it becomes a habit for him to walk along that path that he had created in the forest to get to the castle, have fun every single day. Twice a day, he's walking in the path that he created through the jungle to get to his goal. That was his fun at the castle. So one day what happens? Monsoons come after many months, and monsoons with big winds and storm wipes away the whole forest. Many trees fall, and now guess what? The path that he had made so painstakingly had disappeared. He's got to now, if he wants to go there, which has now become a habit for him, he needs to hack the forest again for months. That's exactly what happens in our brain. When we do the same act over and over and over again, we create the neural pathways which forms deep grooves within our brain structure. And so it's always easy to just go follow along the same thing that we did. We automatically brush our teeth. We automatically do our washing. We just do it. That's because it's become a habit. That is what has happened. So if we need to create a new habit, we've got to do at the intention, go back to the intention stage, make your intention known firmly, deeply within yourself. Then you imagine through the imagination process, which is what I'm going to take you through. You make some affirmations in the alpha state. Then you will be able to start the impact of those neural pathways forming towards another habit. So any so-called bad or unfavorable habit can be replaced by a good habit. Because if you just keep on saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this anymore, you just will continue to go on doing it. It's not. So that's why affirmations are positive statements, not negative statements. What that means is, suppose I had to say, I'm never going to eat sweet again. It hasn't worked for me because I'm giving power. Talked about the energization, the energy that is around us. Everything has its lure and attraction. So the energy of the sweet in the word is going to deepen those grooves that's already in me, in my brain. So it didn't work. Whereas if I change that to something else, and I'm going to show my screen again for the affirmations. What do I do? Screen share, stop. Oh my goodness, was I sharing? Stop sharing. Yes, I was. Okay. So if I go to this statement of from the alpha state, let's say I eat only the food my body needs and only when it needs it, or only when hungry, whatever you want, only when it needs it. So, but 3 times we have to repeat that in the alpha state. And I'm going to take you through a meditation for that. I've got another example of an affirmation here for, most of us fall off when it comes to doing our workouts. So I kind of put one out there. But I suggest that you follow along the eating thing, which I think most of us are guilty of at some point or the other. And so just for the sake of, your mind is not confused with 2 different, when I'm saying it, it's listening to one thing and you're thinking something else. So let's follow the affirmation for eating for today. I'm going to take you, reminding ourselves again, happiness is our purpose. Why are we doing all these things? Because our mind is where we create happiness. And since happiness is our purpose, we have to be happy to make our customers happy and to be all in. So let us do that through this energization meditation to take us to the alpha state. We can access the universal energy, as you've done in the past few weeks, and ask for help from the universal consciousness to change our habits or achieve our goals, whichever we want. So now that I've shown you this slide again, you're going to put yourself inside the hourglass. I ask you to sit straight with your back, feet flat on the ground. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go to the walk you. Take deep breaths in and out. Continue to take deep breaths in and out. Imagine you're sitting inside the beautiful golden blue circle, which forms around you a lovely triangle. The circle is the radius of your arm, so it is big and huge, big enough for you. This triangle opens up on the top into an hourglass, just like you did before. You first want to relax. You have to create a relaxation response to get to the alpha state. You ask the universe to bring to you relaxing, cleansing, healing, energizing, strengthening, abundant love energies to your entire being. From the top of your head, feel this energy flow from the crown down your spine to both your feet. Notice the feet relax, cleanse, heal, energize. Notice the lower legs and thighs fully relax and energize. And your torso, lower back, quickly relax. You can do that just 2 deep breaths, engaging the abdomen. your shoulders and arms, your neck, your face. Soften the jaw and the tongue. Roll your eyes back even though they are closed. Soften the skull, back of your neck. Check for any tension in your body. What I am teaching you is called Yoga Nidra. Ideally, you can do this laying down when you're home. Since you're at work, we are sitting up. Make sure you're fully relaxed. Continue to take a deep breath in and out, making sure your focus is on your breath. It is this state of alpha state, which is between your conscious mind and fully going to sleep, deep sleep, that has an impact on making subliminal messages form neural pathways in your brain. So in this state of relaxation but awareness, say it 3 times and just repeat in your mind after me. I eat only the food that my body needs and only when hungry. I eat only the food that my body needs and only when hungry. I eat only the food that my body needs and only when hungry. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. Again, becoming aware of your body, noticing for any tension and relaxing it. You can say it how many ever times you want. And you know that the more you do it, you can start creating the neural pathways. And it takes just 5 minutes or so of daily practice. Thank you for today's session. I want to let you know that next week we will talk about things like many different things like sound therapy, blue bottle that you can use to make structured water cheaply at home. I will explain what structured water is. We'll talk about 5 levels of human beings, the complexity that we are, simple daily habits for good health, and the meditation that will bring all of this together, as well as how to open both sides of our brain so creativity and innovation flourishes through some yogic and breathing exercises called things like alternate nostril breathing and super brain yoga, acupressure points for even getting rid of headaches. These are all things that we can talk about next week, time permitting. Thank you, and I apologize for going a few minutes over. Bye-bye.